have you been watching the president's press conferences every day?
Yeah, I've been watching them.
Yeah. I love them. I love them.
She's so
I'm becoming
great.
more and more of a fan of this guy every day.
Yeah.
I think he is. We're seeing a side of him now that I think you only saw if you actually got into his boardroom at the Trump, corporation, where they were building big projects and everything else. He's not a politician. He just shoots from the hip, but he surrounds himself with the best people. And so you see these people around him, and you can obviously tell not only does he respect them, but they respect him. And you've seen that admiration, I think, grow. This is so dangerous for the left because people are seeing Donald Trump, and this is why why they want to stop covering those press conferences, even though that's the main source of the news for the day.
You hit the nail on the head, and I've said if we've seen every way the left has tried to manipulate something to take down Trump, it's always backfired. And this is going to be the exact same experiment that will yield the exact same results. They're trying to now use coronavirus, which again is a real virus that's going around, but they are trying to extrapolate everything they can to take him down. Instead, they're turning him into a wartime president. People are looking at him and going, "Wow, this guy is really leading." He's been phenomenal. They want people to stop seeing that because it's also humanized him in a way that he didn't really have going for him, because they would just cover like crazy, ridiculous stories, and they're covering Congress and they're doing all this stuff, and now they're getting that one-on-one FDR experience with him, FDR in the fireside chat thing going on. He's getting a little bit of that now, and it's not good for the left, and they're getting angry and they're saying let's just shut it down completely so we can control the narrative. But they can no longer control the narrative. Trump has essentially made the press insignificant, and at the same time, the press created him. They've made him significant since the beginning because they can't stop covering him. And so it's interesting to watch. There's something very paradoxical about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you bring up FTR because I've been thinking about this. This is very much the fireside chat, and for the first time in my life, because this is the first major, possibly country-ending kind of event I've been through. I mean, 9/11, we were shocked for a couple of days, and then we knew, just let us loose, and you just let us loose. This time, because we're not being allowed to let loose, we're being told, stay down, we could lose our country. And in watching him, I thought, I understand my grandparents. My grandparents they were not lefties, but FDR hung the moon and the stars and the sun. And they were Democrats forever because of FDR. And as I was thinking about it this week, I'm watching him and I'm thinking, he is becoming FDR. He's a guy who's not freaking out, but he's got it under control. Everybody else might be freaking out, but he's not, and he's setting the right tone for the nation. I'm
right.
I'm just so impressed. So impressed.
Yeah, and I've been very impressed with him, and this is the guy that I've known him to be always, because I've got to spend a considerable amount of time with him privately, and this is who he is. He commands the room. I mean, he really, there's something about him where he truly is the boss, and he listens. He knows his shortcomings, meaning that he's not going to pretend he's a medical expert, but you can guarantee he's going to surround himself with the greatest medical experts in the world to get them to make him understand so they can shoot straight, and give him something that he can go in front of the nation and say, here's what we're going to do. I think he's one of those people that actually thrives under pressure. I'm a bit like that too, right? When the pressure's really on, the president just glides. He just turns on, and America is being able to see that. So again, if there's any silver lining in all of this, it's the fact that a lot of people who never saw what I saw in Donald Trump are finally seeing it now. They're seeing that he is a leader. He's just not. He didn't come packaged pretty like Barack Obama did.
Yeah, and it's funny because when he put Mike Pence in charge of the committee, I thought, oh, thank God. Mike is buttoned up. He's got it. It's going to be, we'll get the straight facts. But in watching them, that is a really important part of the press conference. But in watching him, if he were president, I don't think I'd get the same feeling that I get from Donald Trump right now, because I get this buttoned up, we're in charge, we got it, but I don't get this human side. You know what I mean? I don't get the...
I know exactly what you mean.
Donald Trump, my opinion changed of him, and I understood him so much more as a... it's always bothered me, you know, the hyperbole and it's incredible. Nobody's ever seen it like this. Now it's just kind of a joke with me, and I understand him so much more once I saw him kind of from behind at CPAC. I was watching him watch the crowd, and I was watching the crowd watch him, and I realized what he's got is this ability to be like it's your friend who's become president.
Yes, that is
right?
Exactly right. And I was going to say the difference between him as a leader is that he is more of a like a 9th century leader. In that, think about like the kings, the British kings, right? They used to go to war with the soldiers. Now it wasn't behind a wall. They didn't stay and say you go out and fight. They used to fight with them, and that is how he is. He makes you feel like you would never know that this guy was a billionaire. You're sitting with him and you're talking to him and you're like, he's one of us. And that to me is behind the scenes. If you talk to people about when he builds his buildings around the world, he likes to be on site speaking to the actual construction workers. He loves that one-on-one time. He has the spirit of a blue collar worker. And that is what I love about him, because he's the first time that I've seen a president and going, this guy could have been in the projects with me growing up. He's just a straight shooter. Right. He talks, he tells you what's going on. And you feel safer for that, because you don't feel like you have to like think, what's he really not saying? There's no reading in between the lines.
Correct.
What he's giving you is exactly what he means.